What's up, everybody? Big Herc 916 getting down with Fresh Out, and you're tuned in to another dope interview. Hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share the channel. Also go to freshoutseries.com, pick you up some merch, grab your bar of soap, and wash your ass. I'm here with Akiem, man, and we getting into it, talking about a lot of topics that are really hot topics on social media. You know, the male masculinity thing, the whole fatherless homes, the roles of men and women in relationships. And, you know, Akiem, you were just talking about how men have been beaten into submission, and then you got these men who are really, you know, trying to placate to the women. So they're like, yeah, you know, I heard some guy talking about the documentary on a Freaknik. He's like, yeah, you're talking about, you know, the women out there, but a lot of these women were being used, and you men out there, you know, you guys were taking advantage of these women and doing this and that. And I'm
it's
like,
called misdirection right there. That's
dude,
all,
put
that's
some bass in your voice, man. And you the cold weenie, man, because you weren't getting that. You were probably peeking through the window, and at the time Freaknik was going on, you weren't even old enough to go. So how do you know what the hell was going on? Mm-hmm. But you know, they've cut the balls off most of these men out here, and I don't know what the exact solution is. The immediate solution would be if these men had more male strong role models. But in your opinion, what do you see as far as going forward in trying to help save the masculinity of the male population?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Because we can't save anybody. I don't believe you can save anybody. People save themselves through changing their mindset.
You're right. You can only put the information out.
You can put the information, they got to accept it as the truth and move forward and try to improve themselves. You see, you're not going to save anybody. They have to want to save themselves. That's what's going to fix it. They have to realize that there is a problem and be accountable for it. Like you were saying, talking about the Freaknik situation. I mean, now people trying to blame it on the men again, why these women were shaking their ass in front of a camera acting like freaks or hoes, as some people would say it, right? No. Let's keep it real. Those women want sex just as much as men do, and sometimes even more. The difference between the man and how he wants sex and the woman wants sex is when we have a sex with a lot of women, society holds us accountable for it. Because what, we have a bunch of children, guess what? He going on child support. But when a woman has sex with multiple partners, I don't care if a woman, you want to have multiple partners as a woman, you deal with the consequences of that. But the issue with the woman is they don't give her any consequences. They give her welfare. They give her all kind of programs to support her sleeping with more than one woman, more than one man. And nowadays it's man and women they sleeping with. You see? So they get to have the children, multiple kids by different daddies, and still get rewarded by the government to take care of all of these kids that they sat down because they want to do the Freaknik thing and get their groove going. You see? Let's see what fixes this. Let's be honest. You just want to freak. You just want to have sex. You want to do it. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Do it. That's your life. You got to live with that. But don't start blaming the man all of a sudden because you slept with this one, that one. When you going to realize you chose to open your legs to that guy, that guy, that guy, that guy, that guy. No one held a gun to your head and said, you did it because you liked it.
Well, just like you said earlier about like Big T or the homie Twan, or you sleeping with these different guys, street. If a guy, if he has a street name, that's one thing. But if that's what he's the only thing you know him by, and you're letting him skeet up in you, and he's skeeting up in you, which he's responsible. But why would you want to have a baby with somebody or allow yourself to get put in a situation with somebody you know from the jump that's not really a good prospect?
Because it's in their nature to want a man that other women want. That's the part that they don't want to accept. Because think about it. I know in my experience, when I didn't have a woman in my life, it was very hard to get a woman. But when I got one, I mean, it's
like they got a radar.
Yeah, it's like they start calling. The same one I'm trying to get with, all of a sudden calling, showing up to the house. Like, wait a minute. You ain't what I'm doing. Now I got somebody in my life. All of a sudden you probably, I ain't tell him that she was there. It's just like all of a sudden some type of beacon goes out. Oh, he got a woman now. Now I want him. That's the part they try to deny. The issue is they deny the very nature of the things they like. They like a man with more than one woman. I'm not saying all of them, but think about it.
So
all of the women that got children, they all sleeping with the same guy.
So what would you say to like a situation where you got a guy like Future who got 8 babies, or Nick Cannon who I don't know how many he got now, but even if you can't support the kids, how are you going to spend? You can't. There's not enough hours in a day. Does that make sense? I don't know how many. And he's got like I want to say 9, 10, 11.
He can't give them that emotional support like he could with that many children. There's no way. And that's where I start holding us accountable. We have to realize that when we get ourselves into that situation, they're gonna hold us more accountable than the woman.
Yeah.
You're gonna get blamed for that. Because okay, Nick Cannon got a lot of kids, but last I checked, he slept with a lot of women to get those kids. Right? It'd be
different. And I'm not Nick Cannon, that's your business, but it'd be different with the same woman. And he had back in the day, they, had a farm, you had a bunch of kids by the same woman. But when you have that many, how do you even divide the time? I don't understand. It's too many women, too many places.
He's being, to me, I mean, I'm sure he's well off, but.
Well, the kids are cool financially, but what about emotionally?
That's the problem. Now you're saying it's okay to your children, your daughter, you're teaching your daughter that it's okay for me to have all these children with all these people, all these women, and you're teaching your sons, it's okay for me to do that. Children don't listen to what their parents say. They watch what they do and do that. I don't care how much you sit there and tell your child how to do something. They're only going to do what they see you do. And I can tell you this all fact, because it happened with me. My dad, before I was born, he was dealing drugs. Now, my father never told me about his drug dealing days. Never talked to me about it. Never shared it with me. He never shared any war stories with me. But somehow I eventually doing exactly what he did around the same age he did it. See? He never shared those stories. Now I heard it from family. Hey, your dad was a big weed seller, this and that. They didn't know whether he was going to be a boy or girl, so he bought all these boy girls and all. These are stories I heard from family members after the fact. When I got out there and started doing my thing on the street. See, and that's when I realized, and then in my life, I see my boys followed exactly some of the things I did, and I ain't never tell them about it. I just sit my son down.
Yeah, it's like a genetic code, huh?
Right. They follow the energy of what you do. Yeah. And that's why I keep stressing our sisters. I love our sisters to death, but they got to realize they hold the most powerful energy on the planet. And whatever they do is going to affect their children. My grandmother was an alcoholic, right? And she lived in that, had multiple children, by multiple dads, right? All of her daughters, except for my mom, followed that. The only reason my mom didn't follow that routine is because she got into religion. She got religious. So my mom and my dad been together. I'm 53, so I was at their wedding. So, and they're still together. They back at my house now watching my daughter. But what I'm saying, what changed the trajectory of my mom's life is she was removed out of that environment, went with her grandmother, and was introduced to a religion, and she stuck with that. See, she had to replace that program with a new program.
You're right. You got to, find something else like something that's constructive that keeps you occupied rather than having that idle time. They always say idle time is not good.
She had to come out of that situation because all of her brothers and sisters that stayed in that situation, did the same thing. You see? So what fixes it, some people just got to get up and get out of that hood and get away from family who they got to get out of there.
Yeah.
Because that's not going to be an environment because you've been in that environment, you're going to default to that default program. It's like if you go to prison for so many years and then you come back to the same hood, what's the likelihood of you doing the same thing you did before?
No, you're right. You got to get out of your comfort zone.
Right. You got to get out of there.
Yeah.
You can't sit there and play with that. And right now I teach people prosperity. Listen, you can have all the money you want. You can live good, live peacefully, you can travel as much as you want, but you have to change your perspective and believe that you deserve that and you can have that. You're not going to get any further than the ideas in your mind. The problem with the people in the hood and the people that's having issues is not that they are actually bad people. They just got a bad program.
Yeah, because that's their in their mind, that program is just normal.
That's their norm.
It's not.
They don't see anything else.
Yeah, they don't see anything else. I was just saying too, when I was sharing with somebody else about how in certain perspectives, you can listen to things and people think, the world's ending, blah blah blah. But anytime the world's ending, somebody's shorting the market, somebody's trading forex in another country, somebody's buying up somebody's old property or their old artwork and reselling it. Sotheby's has had a record sale of cars here in I believe in New York or Connecticut at their auction. Dude, the people always making money.
I don't even know why people worry about collapses. The most billionaires and millionaires are made during the collapse.
That's right.
It's so much opportunity in the collapse.
That's right.
And for one thing, we need to have this nonsense collapse.
Yeah.
It really do. Because if COVID showed us one thing, and I preached this on my show, I said, listen, y'all didn't even want to go to them jobs. Y'all should be thankful for COVID right now in a way.
It allows you to look at other options. Yeah, you're right.
Y'all hated it. Y'all were doing it every day. Why? Because you had to and you had to pay bills. You felt that it was necessary. Now that the government told you to sit your ass home and you're forced to not go to the job, guess what happened? The program ceased. And at that moment, the program stopped.
Well, the big thing now, they're trying to figure out how to get people back to the office.
Because they bit off more than they can chew.
Yeah, because all that real estate is empty.
Right.
People are like, I can work remotely.
They didn't realize, see, the problem is you cannot, they wanted.
It backfired.
It had a big backfire.
Yeah.
Because some of these people are not going back to work.
Ever
again.
Yeah.
But think about most of in our community, most of the jobs that people went and got were social media jobs.
Yeah.
They created their own money.
Yeah.
And they said, wait, I'm getting paid off of this? What do I need to go get a degree for now?
Yeah.
The colleges are starting to suffer. Because people are like, I don't need a degree. Because people who have degrees ain't making no money anyway.
Well, the whole reason, just like you said, that I was listening to something they were talking about the Ivy League schools and going there, and now you're talking about I have to take my classes remotely. The whole thing was the college experience. So if I'm not getting that experience of being on campus and taking advantage of all the facilities, why am I paying you all this money?
Right.
It makes no sense.
See, and the thing, that's another thing, that college experience I have a problem with that college experience. It goes back to association. If I'm hanging around a bunch of people who is thinking about just making mediocre money, guess what I'm going to be making? Mediocre money. I'm not going to make any money. So people, we need to get well-rounded. Well-rounded how? You well-rounded him to be another battery for the system to create wages for him so that he can get taxed. That's really what it all works together. The education system pushes you out to work for a corporation so that they can take your money before you get it and give it away through taxes. The highest tax person in the country is the wage earner, the one who's using his social to make money.
That's right.
That's where they get. That's how they live off of them. The guy who own corporations, Trump and all of them, we want to see Trump taxes, and they make us people, the workers, hate him because he don't pay taxes when they should be sitting up there saying, let me figure out how he's doing this.
I know.
What he's doing to actually not, because he ain't in jail for it. The charges they got him for ain't about taxes, right? So obviously his taxes is on point.
Well, that's what gets me. They keep talking about that. We want to see it. Like, why don't you actually see all the other people? Because they do the same shit. You're not asking to see
The
anybody else, all the
problem
donors.
with Trump is he's telling people the game is rigged.
Yeah.
And he playing the rigged game too. He's in there playing with him. It was Dave Chappelle.
Oh yeah.
He said, and that's real. He's actually playing the same game they all playing, but he's the only one going out. Hey, this game is rigged, y'all. Know why I know? Because I'm playing it.
Well, he said it when he said about member Hillary. He said, well, the reason why you were a senator, why didn't you change it?
Right.
You don't change it because the same people who donate to you play the same game.
Right.
They're all play it.
But when you understand how business runs, you understand it. It's all written in the code, the laws on how to set your business up to minimize how much taxes you take out. You're not minimizing nothing if you work for a regular corporation and you're using your social to make money. You're not minimizing anything. You're going to pay the highest tax rate than the guy who owns the company. Because the guy who owns the company sets his company up in such a way that he uses the tax benefits and the tax advantages at his disposal because he's set up a certain way. So what I'm saying is, know the rules. Okay, don't complain about Trump not paying tax. Don't complain about all these other guys paying. Figure out what the rules are and put yourself in the same position they are.
That's right.
That's it. And you don't have to be $1 billion corporation to put yourself in that position.
You're exactly right. And on that note, we're going to end it because I got something else I want to get into. That's on some serious money tip. Big Herc 916, fresh out, getting down with Akiem. You tired of smelling like stanky butt, funky armpits? Wash your ass. Go to freshoutseries.com and pick you up a bar of soap.